A Man Like None Other Chapter 61 to Chapter 70. In the office, there was a dead silence. Sister Yan and the bar owner looked at the calm Chen Ping, and had a bad premonition in their hearts. "Boss, do you think that guy just spoke to Lord Tiger?" Sister Yan asked the boss in a low voice. The bar owner didn't answer her, because he didn't know how to answer. The voice that came from the phone just now was very similar to Lin Tianhu's, but such a young man with short hair, and he was selling goods all over the place. He was also very rude. Unlike some wealthy son, how could he know Lin Tianhu, and speak to Lin Tianhu in such a wild tone? Seeing that the boss didn't speak, Sister Yan on the side could only comfort herself. It is impossible for Lord Tiger to know such a person, he must be pretending. And the person on the phone just now can't be Lord Tiger, who would dare to use such a tone in Hongcheng. "Are you talking to Lord Tiger?" After hearing this, the bar owner nodded slightly, agreeing with Sister Yan's point of view. "Boy, don't pretend to be here, just rely on your virtue. How could Lord Tiger know you? You dare to pretend to be the name of Lord Tiger, this is a capital crime!" The bar owner yelled at Chen Ping. Chen Ping just glanced at the bar owner slightly, sneered and ignored him. "Boss, you give Hu Ye a call, this kid is coaxing, let Hu Ye clean him up, just so you can know if it's Hu Ye who was on the phone just now," Sister Yan said to the bar owner. The bar owner nodded, took out his mobile phone and was about to call Lin Tianhu, but the phone did ring, and it was Lin Tianhu who was calling. The bar owner hurriedly connected, "Master Tiger." "Bald Li, how the hell did you provoke Mr. Chen? Now you wait for me, I'll be there soon. Don't open your Fenjiao bar. If you have the guts to run away, then try it out and see me. Lin Tianhu, can I find you?" The bar owner just got on the phone and called out Lord Tiger, and Lin Tianhu's furious voice came over, which frightened the bar owner to the point of being stupid. Now even if he doesn't want to believe it, the facts are already in front of him. It was indeed Lin Tianhu who had just spoken to Chen Ping, and Lin Tianhu respectfully called Chen Ping Mr. Chen. Snapped. The mobile phone in the bar owner's hand fell to the ground and shattered instantly. He looked at Chen Ping like a fool, and finally knelt down with a thud. That Sister Yan was also full of horror, and fell to the ground together. Mr. Chen, I was wrong, I beg Mr. Chen to let me go." The bar owner desperately kowtowed to Chen Ping. Chen Ping didn't care about him, he didn't even look at him. At this time, Chen Ping was sending spiritual power to Wang Hanin's body, so that Wang Hanin could wake up. I don't know what drug this bar owner used for Wang Hanin, but the effect of the drug is so strong, even Chen Ping used his own spiritual power, but it took a long time to let Wang Hanin slowly open his eyes again. "Brother Chen Ping!" Seeing Chen Ping, Wang Hanin shouted in shame. After all, being a dancer in a bar is not a glorious career. "Hanin, are you feeling better now? Let's go." Chen Ping helped Wang Hanin up from the sofa and said slowly. "Well." Wang Hanin nodded, but when she saw the bar owner and Sister Yan who were kneeling on the ground, she was stunned. She didn't understand why these two people knelt on the ground. Could it be because of Chen Ping? Wang Hanin looked at Chen Ping puzzled. After all, in Wang Hanin's eyes, Chen Ping was just an ordinary person, and he was just an ordinary person who had been in prison. "Let's go." Chen Ping did not explain, but dragged Wang Hanin out. In the lobby of the bar, Lin Tianhu had already brought people here and drove all the guests out. All the staff in the bar were surrounded by the corner and squatted on the ground. Wang Hanin saw so many people, and they were all holding weapons, and his face was pale for a while, and one hand was tightly grasping Chen Ping's arm, trembling slightly. "Don't be afraid." Chen Ping comforted Wang Hanin softly. Seeing Chen Ping coming out, Lin Tianhu was about to step forward to speak, but was stopped by Chen Ping with his eyes. Chen Ping didn't want Wang Hanin to know that he knew Lin Tianhu. After all, Lin Tianhu is not a good person in the eyes of ordinary people. If he let his parents know that he was with Lin Tianhu, he would be very angry. Lin Tianhu instantly understood the meaning in Chen Ping's eyes, and after a wave of his hand, the person guarding the bar's door immediately got out of the way. Chen Ping took Wang Hanin and walked out under the watchful eyes of dozens of people. As soon as the two walked out of the bar, they heard screams and smashing sounds coming from the bar. After stopping a taxi, Chen Ping took Wang Hanin home. On the way back, Wang Hanin looked at Chen Ping and wanted to open his mouth to explain something several times, but every time he couldn't say anything. Why did you come back to work in a place like this? Chen Ping was the first to speak. Wang Hanin lowered her head, rubbed her hands together, bit her lip, and said after a while, "Brother Chen Ping, can you not tell my mother? If you let her know, she will be pissed off." Chen Ping nodded. Wang Hanin sorted out his emotions, and then continued, "I owe 1,000,000 loan sharks now. If I don't go to work in that kind of place, there is no way to repay the money. If I can't pay it, they will find it. My mom wants to." Wang Hanin said, tears fell down. "Why do you owe so much money?" Chen Ping frowned slightly. Wang Hanin's family is not very good, so Wang Hanin has been very frugal since he was a child, and he never spends money indiscriminately. How could he suddenly owe so much money? When Chen Ping asked this, Wang Hanin cried even more, crying and saying, "When I was in college, I met a boyfriend who was 2 years older than me and was my senior. Later, after he graduated, he needed to start a business. Money, so I used my identity to borrow a usury loan, but who knows that after borrowing the money, I will never be able to contact him again." After Wang Hanin finished speaking, Chen Ping instantly understood that she was deceived by the so-called boyfriend. At this moment, the taxi driver sighed, "Hey, now this little girl is too simple, too easy to trust people. 1 million is not a small amount. I heard about a little girl 2 days ago. Because of loan sharks, I jumped into a river and committed suicide. Hanin, don't cry, I'll help you find a way for this million." Chen Ping patted Wang Hanin's shoulder gently. Wang Hanin raised his head and looked at Chen Ping gratefully, "Brother Chen Ping, I know that you have just been released from prison, you don't even have a job, where is there so much money? Just don't tell my mother, I'll find a way myself, you don't worry, I won't do stupid things. If I leave, my mother will definitely not be able to live." Chen Ping smiled slightly, not saying anything, but Wang Hanin will definitely help to deal with this $1 million usury. Now he still has the card given by Su Wenzong, and there is still 10 million in it. Even if he spends more money, Chen Ping can follow Lin Tianhu to ask for it. After all, the entire Jiatang is now his own. After returning to the community, the taxi driver did not accept Chen Ping's money, but looked at Wang Hanin with a smile on his face and said, "Little girl, if you want to open up, the big things can pass." After speaking, the taxi driver kicked the accelerator and left. Looking at the back of the taxi, Chen Ping sighed, "There are still many good people in this world." Chen Ping brought Wang Hanin home and found that Wang Chongfeng was still chatting with his parents at his own house. Originally, Chen Ping wanted Wang Hanin to stabilize his emotions and then went home, but this time he was discovered directly. Seeing Chen Ping and Wang Hanin go home together, Wang Chongfeng and Chen Baoqiu were all stunned. Only Tang Hongying couldn't see it, and there was no change in expression, but said lightly, "Chen Ping, are you back? Why is that? Come back late." Chen Baoqiu on the side pulled Tang Hongying's arm. "Chen Ping is with Hanin, they came back together." When he said this, Chen Baoqiu's face was full of smiles. When Tang Hongying heard it, she immediately smiled and said, "Chen Ping, you child, you can go to Hanin, just tell us directly, and go secretly by yourself. Do you want to surprise us?" Chen Ping was speechless for a while and wanted to explain, but he didn't know how to explain it. At this time, only Wang Chongfeng found that Wang Hanin's face was wrong, and he had cried, so he frowned slightly and said, "Hanin, aren't you going to work overtime? And why did you cry?" You still smell of alcohol. Wang Changfeng's series of questions made Wang Hanan panic, not knowing how to answer. Aunt Wang, Hanan didn't work overtime. She went to drink with her colleagues. As a result, those people kept drinking her. I found out and brought Hanan back. Chen Ping hurriedly made up a lie. Upon hearing this, Wang Changfeng hurriedly got up and inspected Wang Hanan's body, her eyes full of concern. What kind of colleagues are you all? Knowing that you don't know how to drink, it's too much to drink you. Seeing her mother being so nervous about herself, Wang Hanan couldn't bear it any longer, hugged Wang Changfeng and cried again. Wang Changfeng comforted Wang Hanan, Hanan, if we are not happy at work, we will not do it, what a broken colleague. Wang Changfeng thought that Wang Hanan was being bullied by his colleagues and felt aggrieved. After all, Wang Hanan has not been working for a long time. He is considered a newcomer, and many companies bully newcomers. Yes, Hanan, don't cry, it's a big deal, let's quit. Tomorrow your Uncle Chen will go to the trustee to find a job for Chen Ping, and ask him to help you ask. We are college students, and we are afraid of not having a job. Tang Hongying also hurriedly persuaded Wang Hanan. Tomorrow I will ask together, there should be no problem, after all, this person is my old comrade in arms. Chen Baoqiu also spoke up. The more several people persuaded Wang Hanan, the more sad Wang Hanan cried, only Chen Ping himself knew why Wang Hanan was crying. Wang Changfeng had no choice but to take Wang Hanan home. Chen Ping, you should go to bed earlier too. I will take you to your Uncle Sun's house tomorrow and ask him to find a job for you. By the way, I also ask Hanan, this child is really hard. Tang Hongying sighed, you can't bully Hanan in the future, be nice to others. The Uncle Sun mentioned by Tang Hongying is Chen Baoqiu's comrade-in-arms Sun Fuhe. After he was discharged from the army, Chen Baoqiu became a civil servant in politics, while Sun Fuhe went to sea to do business with the retirement subsidy. Mom, Okay, go to sleep. Tang Hongying didn't listen to Chen Ping's words and left. Chen Ping was a little helpless. He always took Wang Hanan as his sister, and he didn't have that kind of relationship between men and women. Now he doesn't know how to tell his parents. After shaking his head helplessly, Chen Ping also went back to his room to sleep. Pan Long Bei couldn't go there for a short time, he was afraid that his parents would get angry. Early the next morning, Tang Hongying shouted, Chen Ping, get up quickly, dress better, don't be sloppy, your Uncle Sun specially asked for a day off for us. Understood. Chen Ping opened his eyes and said. After a simple breakfast, the three of them hurried out the door, took a taxi, and headed for Sun Fuhe's house. Sun Fuhe's family lives in a relatively well-known Phoenix Manor community in Hongcheng. The average price of a house here is more than 10,000 yuan. A house can easily cost more than 1 million yuan. It is not something that ordinary people in a small place like Hongcheng can afford. Chen Ping, when you get to the place, be sweet and polite. After all, we are asking for help. In your situation, it is difficult to find a job. No company is willing to find someone who has been in prison. You should pay more attention to yourself. In the car, Tang Hongying kept telling Chen Ping, for fear that Chen Ping made a mistake. Okay, don't say a few words, what's wrong with being in prison? Is it okay to think that your character is not good after being in prison? I have followed Fu Ha's affection for many years, this is definitely not a problem. Chen Baoqiu turned his head from the co-pilot and said to Tang Hongying. He was afraid that Tang Hongying's nagging would upset Chen Ping, especially when he mentioned the matter of going to jail. After all, it was enough for Chen Ping to go to jail. You two are so affectionate, why haven't you seen him come to see you in the past few years? Don't you know how we've lived in the past few years? Tang Hongying was a little unhappy. Chen Ping has been in prison for the past few years, and their family's life has plummeted, but Sun Fuhe has not been seen once. Okay, Don't blame Fu Hai, I didn't tell him about our home, and he didn't know our address, how do you see it? We were a deadly comrade in arms. I didn't rush to him, there is no such person as Sun Fuhei now. Chen Baoqiu is a relatively strong person, and he was a squad leader back then, so he is like this now, and I am embarrassed to tell my comrades in arms. If it weren't for Chen Ping's job search, he would not have come to beg Sun Fuhei. Mom, it's not that you don't know my dad's temperament. I will pay attention to it when I get there. When I earn money from work, our family will be better. Chen Ping said to Tang Hongying. Now Chen Ping has 10 million in his pocket, but he can't tell his parents. After all, there is no way to explain the money. If he tells the truth, his parents will not believe it. After all, his 3 years in prison is too legendary. At this time, in a 2-story villa in Phoenix Manor, Sun Fuhei, who was in his 50s, was wearing a very old military uniform and was sorting out in front of the mirror. On the sofa, a girl in her early 20s looks pretty good, with a tall body, wearing plaid pajamas, and half lying on the sofa playing with her mobile phone. Dad, what are you smoking? The broken military uniform from many years ago, and you still wear it. The girl glanced at Sun Fuhei and said. This girl is Sun Xiaomeng, the only daughter of Sun Fuhei. Your dad is going to see an old comrade in arms, so he took it out and put it on, but his belly is too big, and the clothes don't fit. A middle-aged woman came out of the kitchen with a plate of fruit. The woman was wearing a black dress with a white shirt inside, a pair of flesh-colored stockings and high heels, clearly dressed as a professional white-collar worker, with a faint painting makeup, age looks very young. This woman is Sun Fuhei's wife, Li Fengxia, who works as a sales manager in her own company. Old son, who is this comrade in arms? I heard that several of your comrades in arms are well developed. You walk around a bit more and let them help. Maybe our company will be able to tide over the difficulties. Otherwise, it will be bankrupt after a period of resistance. Li Fengxia put down the fruit and asked Sun Fuhei worriedly. Don't worry about it, this time it's our old monitor who came to the house. We haven't seen each other for a few years, so please be polite to me. Sun Fuhei said to Li Fengxia impatiently. Old squad leader? Then maybe it's already well developed by now. I remember you mentioned it before and saved your life. Later, after being discharged from the army, you entered politics. Li Fengxia continued to ask. Well, it's just that there has been no contact in recent years, I don't know what's going on. Sun Fuhei nodded. Maybe I've already become a high-ranking official by now, I'll be here in a while, you two have a good time. Li Fengxia looked excited, then looked at Sun Xiaomeng on the sofa and said, Go and change, let's go to the clothes, and there will be guests at home in a while, what are you doing like this? And your father, the old class leader, has a son, and when the time comes, the family will come together, maybe. Oh, Mom, stop talking, I have a boyfriend now, it's not that you don't know, it's really annoying. Sun Xiaomeng stood up from the sofa and walked towards the bedroom impatiently. You girl, I'm not doing it for you, then Kui Ziwen is just a company sales manager, can it be the same? Li Fengxia shouted from behind. Sun Xiaomeng didn't say anything, but after entering the bedroom, she closed the door with force. This child is so disobedient. Li Fengxia muttered, and then said to Sun Fuhei, Old son, I'm going to wash some fruit, you remember to call and reserve a hotel, it's better, at noon let's have a meal together. Okay. Sun Fuhei nodded. Soon, Chen Ping's family arrived. After ringing the doorbell, Sun Fuhei hurried to open the door. When Chen Baoqiu and Sun Fuhei met, both of them were stunned for a moment, and then hugged heavily. Old squad leader, I miss you so much. You have changed so much over the years, and your hair has turned a lot white. Sun Fuhei laughed. Haha, your kid is also fat. With your current body shape, you dare to wear a military uniform. Chen Baoqiu laughed and punched Sun Fuhe. Sun Fuhe set his eyes on Tang Hongying and Chen Ping. When he saw that Tang Hongying opened his eyes, but his eyes were dull, as if he couldn't see anything, he was stunned for a moment. Seeing this, Chen Baoqiu hurriedly introduced, "This is my wife, Tang Hongying, who fell ill a few years ago and lost her eyesight." Sun Fuhe hurriedly said to Tang Hongying, "Hello, sister-in-law, hurry up and sit in the room." Tang Hongying smiled and nodded again and again, "Okay, I often hear Lao Chen mention your things at home. There was no old squad leader back then, and I'm already reincarnated now." Sun Fuhe quickly helped Tang Hongying into the door. "Uncle Sun, let me come." Chen Ping stepped forward and supported Tang Hongying. "This is my son Chen Ping." Chen Baoqiu said. "Well, a talented person, the same as your father back then." Sun Fuhe glanced at Chen Ping and said with a smile. Chen Ping followed with a smile. Sun Fuhe gave him a good impression, and the smile on his face was sincere and not contrived. But no one noticed that after Sun Fuhe's words, both Chen Baoqiu and Tang Hongying's expressions changed slightly, but it was only fleeting. "Old Sun, is the old monitor here?" Li Fengxia came out of the kitchen with another large plate of fruit and hurriedly greeted her. "Old monitor, this is my wife Li Fengxia." Sun Fuhe followed Chen Baoqiu's introduction. "Hello brother and sister." Chen Baoqiu smiled slightly. Li Fengxia was stunned for a moment. She found that Chen Baoqiu was wearing ordinary clothes, grey hair, and did not have the majesty of a high-ranking official. Looking at Tang Hongying who followed Chen Ping, they were all plain and simple, just an ordinary person. Is it all so simple to be a high-ranking official now? Li Fengxia muttered in her heart. "What are you stunned for? The old monitor is talking to you." Sun Fuhe saw that Li Fengxia was stunned, so he pulled a hand and said, "Oh, hello brother, hello sister-in-law, sit down, I'll wash the fruit for you." Li Fengxia reacted and hurriedly greeted her with a smile. Chen Baoqiu's family sat down on the sofa. Sun Fuhe hurriedly poured tea and water, and he didn't forget to shout to the bedroom, "Xiao Meng, you Uncle Chen and the others are here, come out quickly." "Fu Hai, don't be so polite. We are so sorry to disturb us all of a sudden." Chen Baoqiu felt very embarrassed when he saw that Sun Fuhe was so enthusiastic. "Old monitor, what's so embarrassing about this? We haven't seen each other for many years. When you come to me, just treat it as your own home. I'll book a hotel at noon, and we'll have a good drink." Sun Fu said while pouring tea for Chen Baoqiu by the sea. At this time, Sun Xiaomeng came out, changed into a sportswear, with a hanging tail, looking very youthful and energetic. Sun Xiaomeng glanced and set her eyes on Chen Ping. She found that Chen Ping was all over the street, and he looked very dirty, like a country bumpkin. "Xiaomeng, don't call Uncle Chen." Sun Fuhe said to Sun Xiaomeng. "Hello Uncle Chen." Sun Xiaomeng called out absent-mindedly. The whole person didn't seem to care, and there was a trace of disdain in his eyes. "You child, how?" Seeing Sun Xiaomen's attitude, Sun Fuhe was about to get angry, but was stopped by Chen Baoqiu. "Okay." Chen Baoqiu hurriedly stopped Sun Fuhe and nodded to Sun Xiaomeng with a smile on his face. The two families sat down and chatted together, and it was obvious that Sun Xiaomeng was a little uncomfortable. "Brother Chen, I heard my old grandson say that after you retired from the army, you entered politics. After so many years, you should be all bureau-level cadres now, right?" Li Fengxia asked Chen Baoqiu. When Li Fengxia asked, Chen Baoqiu blushed and smiled awkwardly. "No, I've already retired." "How old are you to retire? Is it too early?" Li Fengxia said in shock. "Okay, there's so much nonsense, if you ask questions, check your household registration." Sun Fuhe glared at Li Fengxia. In fact, as soon as Chen Baoqiu and the others entered the door, Sun Fuhe noticed that something was wrong. He opened a company and dealt with various officials all year round. Chen Baoqiu doesn't have that kind of official spirit at all. It's just that he is not broken, because he knows that his wife is a snob. If he knows that Chen Baoqiu's family are ordinary people, he is afraid that he will turn his face on the spot. I just asked casually, just curious, what are you anxious about? Li Fengxia rolled her eyes at Sun Fuhe, and then continued to face Chen Baoqiu. Brother Chen, at what level did you retire? Seeing Li Fengxia's questioning, Chen Baoqiu knew that he couldn't hide it, not to mention that he was asking for help, so he didn't need to hide anything, so he smiled awkwardly and said, I was fired. Chen Baoqiu told everything about his experiences in the past few years. At this time, Chen Baoqiu didn't think about what to lose. His face was worthless to him now. When Li Fengxia finished listening, the smile on her face disappeared immediately, and she rolled her eyes. On the other hand, Sun Fuhe looked shocked. Old monitor, why didn't you inform me that you've had such a hard time all these years? It's all over, and now Chen Ping has come out. I don't think I'm asking you to do me a favor to see if I can find him a job. It's okay to be tired. Chen Baoqiu asked humbly. Re-education prisoners, now which company dares to ask for it? Sun Fuhe didn't say anything yet, but Li Fengxia pouted. Now Li Fengxia's attitude is completely different from the beginning. Sun Fuhe also frowned slightly, and his expression became a little dignified. Chen Baoqiu said hurriedly, if it's embarrassing, I'll let him go to the construction site to find a job. Old squad leader, to tell you the truth, my company is encountering some difficulties now. If I can't get over it, I'm afraid I will go bankrupt. Recruiting Chen Ping will also delay him. Sun Fuhe sighed and said. When Chen Baoqiu heard this, he immediately said embarrassedly, Fuhe, I'm really causing you trouble. Don't worry about Chen Ping's work. What happened to your company? What happened, can you solve it? Li Fengxia sneered. Chen Baoqiu blushed with embarrassment. Shut up. Sun Fuhe gave Li Fengxia a stern look, and then said apologetically, Old squad leader, don't pay attention to these women, my company has some business dealings with Fuyao Decoration, and the result is the payment for the goods. They have detained them and won't give it, and now the capital chain is broken, I'm afraid it won't last long. But about Chen Ping's work, I asked Xiao Meng to go to their company to ask. Their company is a group company, and the benefits are good. Let Chen Ping go first and slowly start from the bottom. Dad, I'm just a salesman, how can I do anything? Don't make trouble for me. As soon as Sun Fuhe's voice fell, Sun Xiaomeng said unhappily. You don't have the skills. Isn't that Kui Ziwen a sales manager? Can't he hire an employee as a manager? Sun Fuhe asked. Okay, that's it, if Kui Ziwen doesn't even have the ability, I don't think you two are suitable. Without waiting for Sun Xiaomeng to speak, Sun Fuhe directly threatened Sun Xiaomeng. When Sun Xiaomeng heard this, she stopped talking and could only pout angrily. Old Sun, Xiaomeng has spent a lot of effort in entering that company, aren't you causing trouble for the children? Besides, it's a large group company, can prisoners of labor reform enter? Li Fengxia glanced at Chen Ping, and then very much dissatisfied, he said to Sun Fuhe. Chen Ping was very uncomfortable listening to Li Fengxia, one prisoner of labor reform, but Sun Fuhe was a good person, and Chen Ping couldn't get angry. Dad, I told the ugly things up front. I'm only responsible for bringing them in. It's up to me if I can get an interview or not. Sun Xiaomeng rolled her eyes, got up and left, and went back to the bedroom. Old squad leader, this girl has this temperament, don't take offense. Sun Fuhe explained to Chen Baoqiu a little embarrassedly. Chen Baoqiu gave a wry smile, he has reached this point, what else can he blame? Fuhe, I'm sorry, I still have something to do, so I won't bother. Chen Baoqiu knew that there was no point in staying here, and he couldn't cause conflicts in other people's families. Old monitor, I have already booked the hotel, let's have a meal together. Sun Fuhei said hurriedly. No, you have time. Chen Baoqiu waved his hand. Chen Ping also helped Tang Hongying to stand up. Sun Fuhei also knew that the attitude of his wife and daughter was indeed uncomfortable, but he had no choice but to smile apologetically. When I have time, I will have a drink with the old monitor alone. Sun Fuhei sent Chen Baoqiu's family out, and Li Fengxia had been sitting on the sofa, not even moving. Uncle Sun, what's the name of the company that owes you money? After walking out of the door, Chen Ping asked Sun Fuhei. It's called Fuyao Decoration, does the eldest nephew know anyone there? Sun Fuhei asked suspiciously. Chen Ping shook his head, no, but I'll try it and ask for the account for Uncle Sunday. Eldest nephew, Uncle Sun has taken your heart. You finally got out of it. We can't do anything illegal. Be filial to your parents, and don't worry about my affairs. Sun Fuhei thought that Chen Ping was going to violently ask for the account. After all, Chen Ping just got out of prison, maybe he knew some gangsters and the like. Chen Ping smiled, Uncle Sun, don't worry, I won't be doing stupid things. Sun Fuhei smiled and patted Chen Ping's shoulder, if you have this heart, Uncle will be happy. Leaving Sun Fuhei's house, Chen Baoqiu sighed slightly, Chen Ping, your Uncle Sun is a good man. If you find a job tomorrow, work hard and don't let people look down on you. It can be seen that Chen Baoqiu was very angry with Sun Fuhei's wife and daughter, but there is no way to do this. Well, I see. Chen Ping nodded. What about Hanin's child? In this situation today, I don't dare to ask. Tang Hongying said a little depressed. It was originally agreed to help Wang Hanin find a job together, but now I don't even mention it to Wang Hanin. When Chen Baoqiu heard this, he lit a cigarette and lowered his head without saying a word. He didn't know how to follow Wang Chongfeng. Mom, Dad, don't worry about it, I'll find a way for Hanin's work. If I can enter the company, I can bring her in. Seeing this, Chen Ping comforted his parents. That's the only way. Chen Baoqiu nodded. He stopped a taxi and headed home, while Chen Ping sat in the car and sent a message to Lin Tianhu, telling him about Sun Fuhei and asking Lin Tianhu to go to Fuyao Decoration to get the money back. After explaining, Chen Ping put away his phone, closed his eyes slightly and rested. Soon, Chen Ping and the others returned to the gate of the community. At this time, Wang Hanin was walking back and forth at the gate, as if there was something urgent. Hanin, what are you doing here? Seeing Wang Hanin at the door, Chen Ping asked strangely. Brother Chen Ping, I. Wang Hanin was about to say something when he saw that Chen Baoqiu and Tang Hongying also got out of the car, so he closed his mouth. When Chen Baoqiu saw Wang Hanin at the door, he thought he was waiting for them and asked about work, so he blushed and said to Chen Ping, you can talk with Hanin, I'll go home with your mother first. Chen Baoqiu didn't know how to explain it to Wang Hanin. After all, as an elder, he promised himself yesterday, but today he can't accomplish anything. When Chen Baoqiu and Tang Hongying left, Chen Ping asked Wang Hanin, is something wrong? Brother Chen Ping, I'm afraid that those loan sharks will come to me, I'm afraid my mother will know. With tears in her eyes, Wang Hanin said anxiously to Chen Ping. Don't be afraid, Hanin, I'm here, they're here, I'll handle it for you. Chen Ping patted Wang Hanin gently and said comfortingly. Brother Chen Ping, don't fight, I don't want you to be caught for me. Wang Hanin can only rely on Chen Ping now, but she doesn't want Chen Ping to fight over her business. Don't worry, I won't fight. Chen Ping smiled slightly. Just as Chen Ping was talking to Wang Hanin, an off-road vehicle suddenly stopped in front of them, and three thick men stepped out of the car. One of them was wearing a big gold chain, with a short head and a fierce look on his face. When Wang Hanin saw these people, he was so frightened that he immediately hid behind Chen Ping. "Little girl, how is the money prepared? If you don't pay back the money today, I will move the things from your house." The guy with the gold chain asked Wang Hanin. I don't have any money, can I have a few days of grace?" Wang Hanin asked timidly. "No, not even for a day. If you have nothing valuable at home, then you can come with me. Seeing that you are very handsome, you can still be worth a lot of money." After the guy with the golden chain finished speaking, he grabbed directly at Wang Hanin, without paying any attention to the existence of Chen Ping. But just as the guy stretched out his hand, Chen Ping grabbed it. "I'll give you the money she owes you, don't do it," Chen Ping said lightly to the guy with the golden chain. "You give it." The guy looked at Chen Ping up and down, saw Chen Ping dressed in ordinary clothes, and his body was no more than 200, and sneered, "Do you know how much she owes us?" 1 million. Chen Ping said. "Humph, 1 million is not enough." The guy with the golden chain snorted coldly. "How can it not be enough? You told me last week that as long as I pay back 1 million. Upon hearing this, Wang Hanin hurriedly asked loudly. "Last week was last week. Don't I need interest on my money? Now it's 1.3 million, not a penny less." The guy with the gold chain raised the corner of his mouth slightly and said contemptuously. When Wang Hanin heard it, the whole person was stunned. This week, the price has risen by 300,000. Even if he is a money printing machine, he is afraid that he will not be able to repay the loan shark. "Okay, 1.3 million, I'll give you," Chen Ping said lightly. Seeing Chen Ping's answer so happily, the guy was stunned for a moment, and even Wang Hanin's eyes were wide open, looking at Chen Ping in disbelief. "Brother Chen Ping, where do you have so much money?" Wang Hanin knew that it was impossible for Chen Ping to have so much money. It was only a few days after he got out of prison and he didn't have a job. How could he have more than 1 million? The guy with the golden chain heard what Wang Hanin said, and immediately looked at Chen Ping fiercely and said, "Boy, are you sure you have money? If you dare to play with me, you should know the consequences, right?" With that said, the guy took out a dagger and gently scratched his chin. Seeing the other party take out the dagger, Wang Hanin's face turned even paler with fright, and he hid behind Chen Ping tightly. "I told you to give it to you, and I will give it to you. Just go to the bank with me to withdraw money." Chen Ping's face was calm, without the slightest panic. The guy with the golden chain saw that Chen Ping was so calm, and couldn't help but flash a hint of admiration in his eyes and said, "Okay, seeing that you are a guy too, I will believe you and go to the bank with you." After the guy with the gold chain finished speaking, he stepped aside to move out of the way. After a glance, a younger brother immediately opened the car door. "Let's go, get in the car." The guy with the gold chain shook his head. "Hanin, go home, don't tell your mother and my parents, I'll be back in a while." Chen Ping turned around and said softly to Wang Hanin. "Brother Chen Ping." Wang Hanin took Chen Ping's arm with worry in his eyes. "Don't worry, I'll be fine." Chen Ping smiled slightly, then turned and walked towards the car. Looking at the car leaving, Wang Hanin burst into tears. She didn't know what would happen after Chen Ping was taken away. Soon, the car took Chen Ping to the door of a bank. "Remember, don't play tricks on me, we'll be waiting for you outside." The guy with the golden chain threatened Chen Ping. Chen Ping ignored him, but walked straight into the bank. At this time, many people in the bank lobby were doing business, and Chen Ping could only wait in line at the back. "Sir, if you want to withdraw money, you can go to the ATM so you don't have to queue," a staff member of the bank said very politely to Chen Ping. "I withdraw a lot of money, and the ATM can't get it out." Chen Ping smiled politely. "Sir, how much do you withdraw?" the staff asked. "More than 1 million. As soon as Chen Ping's voice fell, many people in the queue in front of him instantly turned to look at him. After all, more than 1 million is not a small number. Chen Ping. At this time, in the front team, a fashionably dressed, a bit coquettishly dressed woman shouted at Chen Ping. The woman also wore a big sunglasses, covering half of her face. Who are you? Chen Ping frowned slightly and looked at the woman. It's me, Li Dongmei. The woman took off her sunglasses. Chen Ping suddenly realized, it turned out to be you, I don't even recognize it. Li Dongmei was a classmate of Chen Ping's middle school, and the two of them were still at the same table. Back then, Li Dongmei was very sloppy, but she is not as fashionable as it is now. Li Dongmei glanced at Chen Ping, and then said with a bit of sneer in her eyes, I heard that you are in prison, when did you come out? In this kind of public place, the matter of going to jail is even mentioned directly, obviously to make Chen Ping embarrassed. When the two of them were at the same table, this Li Dongmei also wrote a love letter to Chen Ping. After all, Chen Ping's father was in politics at that time, and his family was not bad. Many girls liked Chen Ping. It's just that Chen Ping didn't care about Li Dongmei at all, because at that time Li Dongmei was not good at all. It's only been a few days since I came out. Chen Ping smiled lightly and answered truthfully. As soon as I came out, I came to withdraw more than 1 million? It's really rich. Li Dongmei sneered. Chen Ping just smiled and didn't answer, but asked, when did you come to Hongcheng? I heard that you won't go to school after graduating from junior high school. Yes, I didn't go to school after graduating from junior high school, but I'm much better than your college graduate. Li Dongmei said, pointing to a fat man sitting on a chair beside him. The middle-aged man in the ear said, that's my boyfriend, the owner of a company with tens of millions of assets. I'm going to apply for a card today, and I'll take care of the money in the future. Li Dongmei looked smug, although the middle-aged man looked older than her father, but she herself didn't feel anything wrong, as long as the other party had money. Chen Ping looked at the fat middle-aged man, and just smiled slightly, congratulations, I found a rich boyfriend. Although Chen Ping only smiled slightly, Li Dongmei felt a wave of disgust in her heart, she felt that Chen Ping was laughing at herself. Sir, if you withdraw more than 500,000 yuan, you need to make an appointment in advance. Have you made an appointment? After the bank staff knew that Chen Ping was a reform-through labor prisoner who had just been released, his tone became a little tougher. I have an urgent need, so I don't have an appointment. Can you accommodate me? Chen Ping asked the bank staff. Chen Ping, what are you doing in such a hurry with more than 1 million yuan? You don't look like you have 1 million yuan. You won't come over to pretend, right? Li Dongmei sneered. Chen Ping ignored her, but took out his card and handed it to the bank staff. I have 10 million in this card, and now I only want to withdraw 1.3 million, can you be accommodating? 10 million? What are you kidding me, do you have 10 million? You are just a prisoner who has just been released from prison. How can you have so much money? Li Dongmei sneered and looked at Chen Ping with disdain. And the staff of the bank was also a little impatient, and said with a cold face, even if you have 20 million, this is the bank's rules, you can't. But before the words were finished, the staff of the bank suddenly saw the card in Chen Ping's hand. Because the bank card was given to Chen Ping by Su Wenzong, and Su Wenzong is the richest man in Hongcheng, his card has obvious special signs, the bank staff can see it at a glance, this is the bank card of the Su family, and Chen Ping, if you can hold the Su family bank card, it will definitely not be an ordinary person.